Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from the Daily Caller. It's written by Peter Hassan. It was published on July 13th. 2020 preview. Bernie rails against Democratic establishment and Trump in campaign speech. Now, it's funny that the Daily Caller would actually think that Bernie would run, because he can't run as a Democrat. They changed their rules. He'd have to run as an independent. And there's no way, third party, he's going to do anything except hurt the Democrats. And that's the last thing he wants to do, because of the whole enemy of my enemy is my friend. And he's pretty friendly with the Democrats, even though he's a couch surfing commie, and did that, up until he was in his 40s. So, yeah. I don't necessarily buy into this, that he's looking to run in 2020. I think he's doing more along the lines of trying to take over the Democrat Party. He's helping, those socialist, Marxist-loving Democrats that are now trying to, take it over. I believe that's his play. It isn't running for president at this point. He'd be lucky to see the next election. I mean, the guy's older than dirt. A socialist who somehow made enough money to have 3 homes that are, how do I put this? 7 figures plus each. Drives around in an Audi R8 V10. I mean, this is not the guy that you want to supposedly be representing the average person, going, oh, those working class people, they're getting screwed. It's like, Bernie, buddy, you're one of the ones screwing them, you stupid fuck. Anyways, let's get into the article here. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders took shots at both President Donald Trump and the Democratic Party establishment in a campaign speech in Minnesota on Friday. The campaign rally was for Democratic Minnesota Rep. Keith Ellison, who is running for state attorney general, but Sanders focused much of his speech on the political revolution that he said started with his 2016 presidential campaign. Someone isn't a bit full of themselves. No, not at all. Oh, Bernie, dude, you need to stop sniffing your own farts, because your shit stinks and you don't think so. And it could be the fact that you've had your nose up there for so long that you're nose blind. Take a break from it, then go back to sniffing your ass, and maybe you'll realize it's shit. During the Democratic primary, this state, and you gave, okay, I'm sorry. During the Democratic primary, this state, and you gave us a major victory, and I want to thank you for that, Sanders said. Oh, okay. Minnesota, eh? Yeah, okay. You took on the national establishment. You took on the local establishment. And you said, we're going to create a government that works for all of us, not just the 1%. Thank you very much. And the way that the political revolution works is that ideas that seem radical yesterday, today seem mainstream. Hey, Bernie, I have a radical idea for you that should become mainstream. When shitbag, couch-surfing commies who somehow manage to become pretty damn wealthy working a government fucking job are, I don't know, making claims like you are, and happen to be the 1%. How about you give your wealth to the masses? Huh? How about you do that? You're one of these ones that's about, let's legalize all these illegals. Let's give them, citizenship. Well, until they get citizenship, are you going to house them in one of your, your $1 million plus homes? Oh, that's right. You're not going to do that. You're going to drive them around in your Audi R8 V10? Take them to job interviews? Oh, that's right. You're not. You are the 1%, dude. You're basically there decrying the 1%, the very thing you are. If you took a vow of poverty, then I wouldn't be calling you out for being a fucking hypocrite right now. I mean, you're disgusting, dude. You are a slimy, sleazy shitbag. You and your wife helped to bankrupt a college, making stupid decisions, and it appears some embezzlement. But yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. You are a piece of fucking work, dude. He also thanked Ellison for working with me to tell the Democratic Party that the time is long overdue to open the doors and create a Democratic Party, which is a party of working people, of young people, not of big money interests. Translation: he wants the Democrat Party to become the Socialist Party. That's what he wants. And I love how, you know, they try to play this thing of he's a democratic socialist, or, you know, and then there's a difference between socialist democrat and democratic socialist. It's just flipping the words on that note. But this is a guy who is literally a card-carrying member of the Communist Party, who couch surfed until he was fucking 40, and he basically wants to talk, because he looked at his youth, which to him, I'm sure 40 these days is still his youth, and how he didn't have a fucking pot to piss in. And he's thinking back going, oh wow, wouldn't it have been nice if I had a bunch of free shit handed to me? Because that's what this looks like. And that's what it looks like he wants the Democratic Party to look like. And the thing is, the only people who are really going to get screwed by something like that are the middle class. Because anytime Marxism rears its ugly head, whether it's communism or socialism or fascism, National Socialism, which all, by the way, are ideologies of the left, because if you derive from Marx, you're a left ideology. This revisionist Marxist history, you know, shit that's been going on. Oh yeah, the fascists and the Nazis, they're right. No. They're direct offshoots of Marxism. That means they're left. But when it comes to those type of situations where you have that, it always ends badly. You end up with the rich remaining rich. The more corrupt you are, the more rich you are. There is no middle class. There's only the poor and the very rich. You know, Bernie, when he's, you know, back in the day saying how great Cuba was, you had extremely poor, and then you had the richest fuck Fidel, and a few people around him that were involved in his robbing the wealth of the nation. And he's praising that. He actually did. So, I mean, yeah, there will not be a middle class if these fuckwits get what they want. There'll only be the very rich and the very poor. And they will not be the very rich. It's disgusting. Sanders repeatedly blasted Trump throughout his speech. Trump is working day and night to divide our people up based on the color of their skin, based on their gender, based on their sexual orientation, based on their religion, based on the country they were born, the senator said. Where do I start with this? Okay. He's not working to divide people on any of those bases. When you're making it so that colleges cannot discriminate and say put black people or Hispanics or illegals or women above anyone else. It's got to be the idea of you're there on the basis of your merits. That's not about the color of people's skin. That's about the fact of the merit of the person. Again, that goes with the whole thing of based on gender and sexual orientation and religion. Okay, because, well, the people that are making this, all right, it's the left that's doing all of this stuff. You're the ones that literally went from calling us, you know, going, oh, we're all Americans, to you broke us down in all these little identity politics groups. You have, let's see, God, there's so many groups that you break things down in, and the more groups you belong into that are oppressed, the more cred you get on the oppression Olympic scale. You're the one who broke it up by skin color, and you took something that was very offensive. You flipped two words around, basically, and now it's supposedly not offensive. And I'm talking with people, all right, you did add an oven there, but you went from the whole, this is what I love about the left. They went from calling people colored people. Back in the, the Dixiecrat, the days of when, LBJ's talking about how he's going to con the black people, and I'm being nice on what he said. I suggest you go look up the quote of what LBJ said about black people. Yeah, I don't want to be put in limited state. But he said, fact of, yeah, we're going to con black people. That's exactly what the Democrats did. And here they are, they're calling them colored people. Now, the left decided, yeah, well, we'll flip colored and people and we'll add an oven in it. So it's now people of color. Still the same offensive term. Okay, you should just be a person. You're the one who brought up race and skin of color. This gender thing, third wave feminism, cultural Marxism. Again, you're the ones who want to make it about gender and divide people based on gender because of identity politics, based on sexual orientation. Again, the left, cultural Marxism, the LGBTQAEIOU, sometimes Y, and the rest of the fucking alphabet crowd, okay? That's all about dividing people based on their sexual orientation. And they're the ones doing it. Well, let's see. Today, I'm an L. Tomorrow, I'll be a G. And then I'll be a T and a Q. And then I might be a B after that because I'm pansexual and gender is fluid. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. You're the ones that are doing that. And then this whole thing of based on religion. This one right here, the left is all about religion. Well, let me be specific. They're all a large part of the left, especially the far left, because they're atheists, which is one of the downfalls and reasons that Sarkuk the fuckwad, which even though he's a liberalist fucking UKIP, is one of the reasons why his moral character is complete fucking shit. Because being an atheist, okay, you can justify a lot when there's no moral component. Which I hate to say it, religion has brought that moral component to society. It's one of those things that helps create and regulate morality. So you have these people on the left, like Sargon, even though he's a classic liberal, but he's left. But then you get the far left, and the further you go left, the more and more you have these people that are anti-religion, except when it comes to the ones, the religion where people think it's perfectly acceptable to hop into a truck, drive through the crowd, run over people, strap, bombs onto themselves, things like that. Then they're very tolerant of religion. Okay? But on that other note, they're very anti-Christian. They're the ones that are trying to divide people based on religion. Okay, what do you think the whole thing of when the gay couple, okay, decides that they're gonna, and they were caught saying this, we're gonna go to this particular bakery because this guy's a Christian, we know he will not bake us a cake for our wedding, so we'll sue him and we'll get our honeymoon for free. That was basically the extent of what they did. And they skipped over a bunch of bakeries, went to his bakery and did that. And you know what? You tried to force that down someone's throat based on religion. Okay, that's dividing people on religion. And then this whole thing based on the country they were born. This is basically Bernie trying to be a shady little shitbag and not flat out and come and say that this is about the fact of whether or not you are an American. It's not where you were born. It's about the fact of whether or not you are an American citizen or a legal alien. Legal resident, if you prefer, because I know you fuckers hate that alien thing on the left. It's about that. That's what this is about. That's what he's trying to cover up. It's not about where they were born. If someone comes here legally, if they're born here, if, they go through the steps to be a legal resident or a citizen, regardless, if you're here and you have the values of this country and you did it the right way, I don't care where the fuck you are from. That's the bottom line. So don't try to play it like that, because that's how most people feel. But yet, you got to whip up these dumbed down left morons in a tizzy. And I mean, there are people on the right that were like that, but at least now more people on the right are waking up to things. You guys aren't, though. It's disgusting. But we all know for so many years, so many people have struggled to end racism and discrimination and sexism. And we say to Trump, we are not going backwards, we are going forward. No, you're going backwards. See, Bernie doesn't want to teach you history. So I think I'm going to teach you a little history. To bring socialism into this country even further than it is would literally be moving backwards. This was already tried before. You know, the president that they teach you with revisionist history in school that was so great, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he already tried this. Progressives tried it at the turn of the 20th century, sneaking a little in through the door. Then FDR tried all out trying to force on socialism. And he screwed this country up more than the Great Depression did. He actually extended the Great Depression with his programs. I bring this up. I've brought it up in other videos, but it's the perfect example of this. State-run and controlled labor on the note of, say, construction and public works projects. That was the Conservation Corps. The idea was to put men to work who were unemployed. The problem was you had these guys out there with construction companies who had workers who had payrolls to fill that were bidding for these jobs. Instead of giving these jobs to these companies where they would hire, more men as they grew and did more business and did more of these public works projects and say could hire a second crew and do a second public works projects. What FDR did instead was basically drive a lot of these companies that would have done the work under. He put out of work a shit ton of people, worsening the Great Depression in the process. Now, that being the case, what ended up happening is you had all this equipment, equipment going away, companies going under, and you had guys with pickaxes and shovels building roads and bridges and shit like that, when you could have backhoes and it would have been done more efficiently, faster, and cheaper, and in the long run there would have been more projects done for less money, and you would have probably had more people back to work. But yet, yeah, that's a prime example of what you're talking about moving forward, Bernie. Or did you forget? I mean, you're old enough to probably have lived through FDR's 4 terms or 3.5 terms. So what's up with that? You getting dementia? You going senile? You losing your memory? What's the deal here? Because you're an old fuck. You should remember that. He later accused Trump of abandoning his commitment to the working class. Really? Really, Bernie? He's been working at it, bringing companies in, creating jobs, got the economy kick-started up to 3% before, right off the bat, and that's, Obama's, thing. He did that. He caused that. Sure. Yeah. You have him working on trying to straighten out the whole trade fiasco with, good example, Canada. Was it 200 or 300% on U.S. milk and milk products for a tariff? And we're assholes for going, hey, wait a minute, Justin, you little beta cuck bitch, dude, buddy, pal, that ain't gonna fly. China stealing technology from us, stealing industry from us, going and trying to, work towards their 2040 initiative, I believe it's called. I can't remember the exact name, where the intent is to literally move all industry from the world to China, deindustrialize it, and use the power and leverage of being the industrial center of the world to control it. So fighting stuff like that is abandoning his commitment. Bernie, you're fucking senile, dude. Sanders is technically an independent, although he caucuses with Democrats in Congress and was the runner-up for the Democratic Party's presidential nomination in 2016. He is widely considered to be positioning himself for another potential run in 2020. Now, again, I disagree with that. I think that he's setting up the Democratic Party for a coup. He thinks that, he thinks, being so full of himself, that he can cause, by campaigning and backing certain candidates, a shift in power in the Democrat Party. Which, you know what, after what they did to him, I could see him wanting to do that as like a fuck you at least. But that's what I see going on. And having said that, I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.